It's been a wonderful day so far. I'm really excited and I've attended all these sessions. Really very useful and meaningful to all the prolific audience out there. So very excited to invite on stage with me. I have a very accomplished panel, have done interesting strategies to grow their own businesses. So I have Kumar from Simplilearn. It's an edutech platform has raised 31 million so far in funding from private equity, has acquired a company, and looking forward to a fast forward growth within the COVID era. COVID era is definitely a boon for all the edutech companies out there. Then I have Praveen Jaiswal, very interesting product company in cybersecurity space, coming from Kolkata, and the interesting thing is it is bootstrapped. It is entirely bootstrapped. They just recently got funding from Enam Securities, and they aim to list on Nasdaq. So very ambitious company out there, and something to watch out for. Then we have Prashant Deshpande from none other than Aurangabad. A tier three town. Very interesting story. 30 years bootstrap company. Mostly into engineering services. And the format that I'm going to follow here is I'll have a few questions to the panel, and I will encourage all the audience out there to put their questions in the Q&A box. Vote the questions that are already in mind, and it is already listed out there, so we have it popped up on the top. And let me have each of the panel members out there. So the first common question that I ask each one of them, and I'll expect Krishna followed by and then followed by Prashant to answer. Give me a brief of your journey and your current state of business so far.
So you want me to start, Avinash?
Yes, please.
Yeah. So good evening, everyone, and thank you for having me as part of this forum. I really appreciate you reaching out to us. So my name is Krishna. I'm the founder and CEO of Simplilearn. It's an online learning platform for professionals. A lot of companies are looking at trying to go more digital. A lot of professionals also want to work in digital areas because that's where you have the highest growth and future career prospects, and we help them realize those dreams. So today we are one of the largest platform, not only in India but globally. We started long back in 2010. We are roughly at about 500 crore in annual revenue, and all these years we have grown like year on year. We have always seen growth in our journey. We also raised about 30 million of private equity at some date, but for the last couple of years, business is profitable and it's growing profitably. So that's where we are. See, I chanced upon this business while I was trying to figure it out. What do I do in my career? Before that, I was running a software startup that I sold in 2007 to a listed company. The company was listed on BSE and NSE, and they wanted to acquire some products. So that's where they acquired my company. And I started Simplilearn as a blog. While blogging in 2010, I realized that there are a lot of people who are looking for ways to fast track their career, but there aren't many options. And I'm talking about 2010. Those of you who follow this space, you know that a lot of MOOCs are quite popular globally, but that MOOC phenomena happened sometime in 2012. So we thought about this concept and launched it in the market way before this became a popular concept globally. What differentiates us compared to most other providers is that when you think about skilling and online skilling, the notion that gets built in someone's mind, or for that matter, everyone's mind, that it must be some video learning that you can access any point of time at your own convenience. But our model from day one has remained same, and over time, of course, we have built a lot of technology platform to further solidify that. Is that it's a live instructor led training. So someone who's trying to become a, let's say, a data scientist or a cloud architect, if he gets to learn in a cohort style, along with the fellow students who are trying to learn the same topic as him or her, and being taught by a practitioner, that goes a long way in person grasping that particular subject. And along with this live teaching, we also do a lot of hands-on project. So when you are learning cloud, you're not only learning cloud theoretically, you're also executing certain projects using the cloud container that we provide as part of our learning environment. So that unique pedagogy has really kept us differentiated compared to other providers, and we are continuously working on our product to make sure that the product is really very well received in the market. And while we design this product, we also work with a lot of brands in co-creating this product. So we have tie up with IBM, Microsoft, AWS, KPMG, a lot of industry partner, and a lot of leading universities like Purdue, Caltech, University of Massachusetts, and Purdue to create this kind of courses. So trying to take partner along with us to have a product that differentiates. Focusing on the global business, not only in India, has helped us grow over a period of time. And the best part about Simplilearn team is that all of us like doing this, right? So we don't have a goal post saying that, okay, we want to achieve this by this particular date. Since we are enjoying this whole process of building a product that our customers like, they grow in their career, that's a big satisfaction for us that every day we start our day by hearing about how somebody made a good career transition or how we helped the company achieve their digital transformation goal and so on. So we are not having any end goal in mind. We're liking what we are doing, and we don't know what is going to happen next 5 or 10 years. As long as we grow, as long as our customers are happy, we are in a good place.
So interesting, very impressive. And audience, the point to keep in note is there is no end goal in the mind. They're enjoying the journey. Praveen.
Thank you, Avinash, so much for having me on this forum. So I'll just give you a brief about myself. So I passed out from Delhi School of Economics, was working with G for some time before we started Vehere. So Vehere is primarily a cyber situational awareness company. So it's one of its kind of company in the country because when in 2006, when we were starting then, so security was one of the core focus area which Naveen and me, both the co-founders, had in mind. And the only solution which was coming for the national security at that point of time was from Israel or from US, but primarily from Israel. So some of the Central Intelligence and the National Security Agency, they contacted us. They said, we want to build a solution around it, which could be indigenous. And so we worked with them. And in 2009, we were able to ship our first product line. So, I mean, today we say that, approximately we've got the largest share of the national security market in the country. And it has been an interesting journey because the kind of technology which we are building did not exist. And it does not even exist in the open source domain. So you got to work from the scratch. And Calcutta in that way we found to be very, very interesting because, the access to the IIT and the statistical institutes and all these areas. So the company went on to file patents on a newer technology like even counter-drone, the machine learning algorithms which could detect attacks at a speed. So all this technology, while we were building, it was created for the cyber intelligence class, which was the national security. So of course, you can imagine the scale of a national security protection systems which existed. So we existed right from the undersea cable link. I mean, if you look at the communication medium, so you had high frequency radios, then came in the microwave, then came in your telephone lines, then came in IP, 4G, now 5G. So when the world is out exploring newer form of technology, communication platform, it has to be secure. I mean, when you need to make the nation secure, the number one thing is to be secure on the communication platform. So we did joint research program with DRDO and we are part of their entire electronic warfare programs and all. With the COVID coming in, what has happened is that, the enterprise grade technology, which was there for cyber security, I mean, all of a sudden you see a large gap in these technology because the boundaries, just went away. I mean, you've got people working from everywhere, everyone connected to the internet. So people were sitting behind the firewall, all of a sudden they became exposed on the internet. And that is when, we realized that even the banking sector and everyone, they started calling us because earlier we were not the right fit for them, right? We were like way beyond advanced technology for them to deploy on these networks. So the entire BFSI, the smart city, and everyone came calling that, look, this is the technology which needs to be deployed because in a nutshell, what we were doing was we were analyzing each and every packet which was coming on the network and building user behavior on top of it. So imagine the amount of packet which started flowing in with everyone over the internet, the diversity which we could handle because of our experience in the national security, that really helped in terms of putting the solutions together. So we are pretty stable at this point of time. We had one round of funding around a year and a half back.
Yeah, brilliant. Okay.
Yeah. So this is where the story is. So we are looking forward to expand, and we are looking forward to be the number one company in the country, in the region. We've already achieved that status, and that is what is the short brief about the company.
Excellent. So another company getting benefited from the pandemic, huge rush of demand because everybody is working remotely. So the cybersecurity becomes extremely important and critical. So interesting story out there. Praveen, you've done your graduation in economics. I'll ask you later as how did you jump into ID. So Prashant, your turn now. Your story is very encouraging, coming from Aurangabad. So yes, please.
Yeah, thanks, Avinash. I'm glad to be part of this panel discussion. Expert Global started in 1990 as a software company providing software to manufacturing companies, inventory management, accounting software. Then customers kept on asking us, can you supply us computers? Can you supply us hardware? So typically coming from middle class family, parents were teachers, so didn't have any business exposure. So first 10 years I'll call, I divide my journey into Expert Global 1.0 to 4.0. EGS 4.0 is what our current avatar is. So those were the years of exploration. We tried everything, whatever was coming our way, we tried to execute. But around 1999 or 2000, we realized that we are confined to Aurangabad, and if we have to grow, we have to go out of Aurangabad. Then we decided why go to Bombay and Pune. So we stepped out to US, and I made my first visit to US in 2000. We got couple of customers, was making trips to US and Europe, got more customers. So earlier we were only in IT. We added CAD, that is engineering design, to our solutions portfolio. Aurangabad is industrially very advanced town. Almost all major SMEs were our customers, and we could leverage our experience, local experience to to become global. Then we started our own subsidiary in US in 2005. We start so that was EGS 2.0, that going global. Then 2011 to 2015 were years of consolidation. We were saying yes to every demand coming from manufacturing industry, whether it is manufacturing, whether it is support, design. We realized that focus is very important. So we started consolidating our offerings, and we made it engineering, mechanical engineering design, and IT solutions. In 2015, we were giving services to one German company, and the MD said, "Will you be interested in forming a joint venture with us?" They are providing services to ADAS domain, Advanced Driver Assistance System or autonomous driving. And we said yes. We formed a joint venture, and within 3 years, from about 30 to 300, we grew our team right here in Aurangabad. So that is EGS 4.0, where we acquired a company from Pune. We formed a joint venture. So what we achieved in 25 years, we achieved in next 5 years. So in 2015, we were say 500 people. Today we are about 1,200 people spread in Aurangabad, Pune, Germany, and USA. So what we have done is that we have captured everything in our logo, Expert Global Solutions. So we want to provide solutions to business problems. We want to do it globally. We are expert in whatever we are offering, and we are trusted technology partners. That's in a nutshell is our journey.
Excellent journey, and I think this leads to my second question about the growth strategies. You already talked about EGS 1, 2, 3, 4,
Yeah.
where you said you did geographical expansion, then you looked at CAD CAM as a new technology area to add, then you did a partnership with a German company, and that's how you got expansion, and that's how you got the rapid growth. So I have I'll share my own journey very quickly. InfoBeans is a 20-year-old business of originally started from Indore. Now we have followed geographical expansion. We have offices in Indore, Pune, Chennai, and Bangalore in India. And globally, we have offices in Germany, Middle East, Dubai, and in US. US has been our primary market from day one. Um, in order to grow faster, apart from the geographical expansion, we chose a different route where we got ourselves listed on the National Stock Exchange on the SME platform, and that was in 2017. We raised 37 odd crores from the market, and last year we acquired a $10 million business in the US called as Philosophy.is. They're into consulting space for product. Prototyping and UX user experience design and consulting space. So that has been our mantra for growth, where we are in public. We are now on main board on an NISC. We can raise more rounds of funding if needed. We are looking to actively acquire companies out there. At the same time, we are spending, in our growth in geographical expansion in all the three geographies that we are present. So both organic and inorganic growth is what we are doing simultaneously. Thankfully, we are three founders, so we can spread our bandwidth in these three directions. So this brings me to the growth strategies that each one of you are following, and give from your own experiences of so many years, which of these strategies worked for you, and which ones did not. So. Again, KK, I'll start from you. So, what is your experience so far?
So, Avinash, see, from my experience, all these strategies made organic, inorganic, geographical expansion, product expansion. These are the possible thought areas that everybody should try to see what works for them. Right? Something doesn't work for me does not mean that the idea is bad. Maybe something else has gone wrong, right? So we have also tried all those possibilities. Like in 2015, we started focusing on US a lot. So we also entered the US through an acquisitions. We acquired a company in Vehere that became our US office, and that really helped us a lot. It helped us in getting a better understanding of the market. It also helped us put a real feet there so that you can do more partnerships. So it definitely helped. But what has helped us more compared to all these ideas is that the what we call it. Word of mouth. See, ours is a direct to consumer business, and that also brings us the enterprise business, because most of our consumers who come and sign up for our courses, they work in companies that are also looking at skilling their employees. So what has worked is word of mouth, because we train roughly about 200,000 people every year in a paid model, and we have another million plus users who come and get trained from us in a free through our various free offering that we provide. Now, if these users are satisfied and they get the desired outcome, which they're looking at, getting a salary hike or getting a new role within the same company, moving from maybe not so hot technology to a hot technology area, they go and talk about their experience with Simplilearn, with their colleagues, with their friends, and that gets us more customers. I think for us, something that has worked us really well is this part, that our customers bring us more customers.
Very powerful thought out there, word of mouth, especially for B2C, but even it works very strongly in B2B space. So Praveen, what you would want to add here?
So our journey is different because being a product company, so we had a lot of challenges in terms of first, there's not many product company coming out of India, right? And that too in cyber security or the security space. So I remember at times people would say that, hey, a cyber security company in India, and that too in Calcutta. So you guys might be absolutely sure. So we walked through that journey, and the fact is that ultimately the product has to speak, right? So in fact, one of the instances, for one particular customer, we were trying to pitch, and they said, look, you guys don't qualify, and they bought it from a German company, and the German company in turn bought it from us. So that is how credibility was established. And as Krishna said, that there's no second way about the fact that the customers are the best way to grow your business. Second is that in the product domain, what is more important is that you allow your partners to build services around you, and that is very, very important. So the whole global system integrators were there, the MSIs were there. So our strategy has been that we stay focused to the product side and allow the entire services company to build their services around the security platform. So that is really paying us well, and we have been able to build these ecosystem and channels. So there has been two journey for us. One is where when we went direct, we said, okay, Mr. Customer, this is what we have. You try it out. So once we have been able to prove that credential, then you start bringing in the partners that, okay, you've got a model or a product which works well with the customer. You can replicate with all your customers, have services around it. So for us, these two things work. And what did not work for sure is having a company which is investor focused. It does not work. So make a company which is customer focused company, and that really works.
So this brings me to a very interesting question, and I'm really impressed with the way the company has been created out of Kolkata. You bootstrapped it for the most part, and you told me last time that you are cash flow positive. So a product company staying cash flow positive, not really clamoring for funds out there, is a very strong standing that you are in. So what made you continue to invest in the product? I'm sure you must have spent 2-3 years before you started generating a penny out of the investment that you created. How could you sustain that period?
By 2000, we were on the verge of bankruptcy, so it was not the same journey. But what we invested on in the early ages, we invested on the people, and it was very, very clear that we want tier 1 talent in the company. In fact, last week the country head of HP storage division joined us. So we have been always going after whether we can afford or we cannot afford. We've got to invest in tier 1 talent, because that is what ultimately it's my man versus your man, Avinash, right? If you go, both of us go to the customer, the guy who's sitting on the table behind the customer is what is going to make the difference. So we kept on investing in the people. We said that, okay, we'll take a call, we'll invest in the tier 1 talent, and that is how it has helped us in this entire thing, keeping the funds. Because initially, what happened, you might find these people expensive, but they'll give you immediate returns, right? I mean, they are the smartest people around. So that has kept the fund requirement very, very low for us.
Okay. A very powerful thought, and that was talked in the first session in the morning as well, invest in your talent. Prashant, what is your thought on growth strategies, and what worked for you and what did not?
Yeah. So, Avinash, you rightly captured some of our growth strategies. One was going into multiple geographical territories. So we expanded in Europe, we expanded in US, we expanded in from IT to engineering. So today we are providing engineering and digital transformation solutions to manufacturing companies. So I always say that Aurangabad is industrially advanced town. So whichever service we provided to industry in Aurangabad, it was easy for us to export it. So I call it as learn in rupee, earn in dollar, and again spend in rupee. So that's the growth mantra. Another growth mantra in last 5 years, what we have done is that we have zeroed down on some of Fortune 500, Fortune 1000 companies, where we got service business. We went to them, said that we want to become a steady partner with you. So we are calling it as a $1 million account strategy. And in last 5 years, we have got almost $7 or $8 million accounts. So I think these two things really helped us. And partnership. So I have 3 more partners who are with me for last 25 years, and customers who are with us right from day one. There are some companies in Aurangabad who are our customer in 1990, and today also they are our customer. So I think partnership globally as well as locally is what is our mantra.
So very powerful comment here from Prashant. Think of building a long-term relationship. If you have, customers or vendors or partners with you for, 20 years or 15 years, that makes a great amount of difference out there. So very powerful comment out there. Obviously all of your studies are extremely, inspiring. I'm now starting to look at the question and answers as well, and I have the last one which I'll talk, and then we'll jump into questions. So, what is each one of you? What is your future roadmap, and any advice that you would want to give to the entrepreneurs who are listening to us? Most of them are the SME players. They are building the so-called Atmanirbhar Bharat from here, and these are the future entrepreneurs. These are the future billionaires, I would say, who are going to build the India of next 2-3 decades. So what is your key advice to each one of them, and your roadmap also?
So yeah, I can hear myself. So my advice is that nobody starts a business to become an SME. I think let's have that thing clear. Everybody starts a business or they want to become an entrepreneur because you want to do it big. Now,
Correct.
that all of us have learned through our own journey is that there are a lot of factors in play, and not everything is in your control, right? Some companies become big because something worked for them that was not only because of competency or because of capital, right? A lot of things needs to be in place to become a large company. Even to survive and grow as an SME and give employment to hundreds of people is not that easy. A lot of people start and fail in that also. So this is a very, very tough journey. I think it's maybe the toughest profession that one can think of, because every day you get tested by all kinds of the government tests you, your employee tests you, your customers test you, your product tests you. Every day you're getting tested. So only way to last in business is that you do something that you really like. As long as you're enjoying your journey, I think you're not waiting for an end goal. You're not getting frustrated because anyway you're enjoying what you're doing. So choose a business that you are really interested in, something that gives you a lot of satisfaction. Don't choose a business because that's a trend, because trends come and go, right?
Yeah.
Businesses strong interest, they continue, and at the end of the day, you feel happy that I'm doing something that I'm liking. What more do you want? So that
Exactly.
helps all the time that I'm doing what I'm liking, and I don't have any regret. I don't. Who knows? So today we are 500 crore, tomorrow will become 5,000, right? The option is open. I have a bank account. As long as I keep putting money in my bank account, I don't say no, right? So I think working with that, you'll always be happy. That's been my suggestions to everyone, that don't put artificial goal, don't get frustrated because something is happening for others. As long as you build a good product, your customers are happy, you are happy, your employees are happy, I think you are in a very good place.
Yeah. Good. Excellent. Praveen.
So, in terms of the future roadmap, of course, we are putting a lot of focus on ensuring that a lot of patents are filed from the country. And also the fact that, by 2024-25, we are looking for a listing in the US. So for us, building up this entire ecosystem, and because a product company has not been listed in the US at all. So that is one of the challenge which is there. And of course, one of the bigger challenge or bigger task which is there with the co-founder is, to churn out many millionaires from the company when the companies go listing, right? That is where everybody is sweating, and the team is working really, really hard for it. And in terms of the advice, I think perseverance is the only advice which I have, or which everyone already knows, that there's no other alternate, because normally people start business with the leap of faith, and of course, as Krishna said, you've got to like what you do, otherwise perseverance will not last at all. So it has to be perseverance, and that's the only mantra, because I always tell my team that probably Kamli had more talent than Tendulkar, right? But so yeah, that's the one.
Absolutely. Well said. Well said. Prashant.
Yeah.
Words of wisdom.
Yes. So we have realized that what we achieved in 25 years, we could achieve in next 5 years. So obviously, we have tested it. So we want to ensure that every 5 years we are doubling. Second, we have realized that through focus, you can achieve much more than adding to your services portfolio. So deep dive into your solutions and identify your strengths and provide solutions to business challenges of your customers. We are at a stage where we are not a service provider or a technology provider. We are solving problems of our customers. And for that, it may be a product development. So we have built our own IoT platform for manufacturing SMEs called Machine Talk, and it is doing well. We installed it in one beverages company in Pune, something like Learn in Rupee, and now it is getting rolled out globally at 18 locations. So we are going to earn it there. So
Very good.
when you achieve your dream, does not matter. Enjoy the process. In the process, be open and flexible. Take advice from your friends and relatives or advisory board, but don't compare with anybody. भगवान ने हमको सबको अलग बनाया है. So believe in yourself. It's your story, and you write it your story. Whether it is
Super.
25 years or 30 years doesn't matter.
Super. So 3 words of wisdom from our accomplished panel. One is do what you like, do what you love. Second is stay. You have to stay patient. You have to persevere. You have to have the perseverance to see it through the success. You have to continue to run, and ultimately you will end up with a success. And what Prashant is saying, that stay focused, deep dive, and just continue to work. Don't really worry about what others are doing. So very impressive outcome here. Very powerful messages out there. And when I look at the questions out there, actually the question is already answered. What are your opinions to tackle with obstacles like cost, pricing, culture, learning, and global inclusion while scaling a company along with the competitors? So all three last advices that I said, I just recapped, is all there. There's a specific question for Prashant. You have scaled Expert Global over the last 3 decades. What are the 3 things you would want to give to a new entrepreneurs? Uh, you already mentioned, right? So
Yeah.
focus, deep dive, and kind of grow from there. So build partnerships also.
Yeah, and dream big. See, believe in your dreams. जो भी
Believe
है
in your
आपका
dream.
सपना है वो.
Correct.
Compare with
What are the key mantras to strike a balance between building a product versus selling a product? It's a huge game to sell the product versus building one in the first place. So I think that's a huge challenge, right? As a person who has the idea on a product, like I'm sure both Praveen and Krishna can tell me that you tend to fall in love with your product, right? But when you go out and sell it, it may not really, the customer may not really want what you've built. How do you balance that dichotomy? So Praveen.
Yeah, so first of all, I see the question, and typically I would say that any product company needs at least 4.5, 5 years to actually find a wide acceptance. Second is the fact that if you build a product, okay, which has purpose and which consumer needs, so there's no need. I mean, then there has to be a positive cash flow. It cannot be negative cash flow. If it's only negative cash flow, then you're only obsessed with the product, nobody else in the world, right? So it's just matter if the delta is there, it's okay. But if the delta is too large and if you've got a zero revenue and only cost of the product, then I think it's worth shutting it down. But you've got to give 5 years, because it's just like manufacturing, right? You manufacture a product, you build the marketing engine, you build the sales engine on top of it, and then you've got the entire partners and the customers going on. So it's a tough journey. It requires different phases apart from the product development. So 4 to 5 years is definitely what anybody should be giving in a product company before they see a tangible revenue.
Yeah, I would want to rank your praise also, Krishna, on this particular point. It's a very powerful question out here.
So I think it's a journey. So you build a product. See, there's nothing called a perfect product in a perfect world, right? You are trying to solve a big problem. Maybe you can start with a small use case, build that use case really well. People will start using it, and then continue to expand, right? I think you have seen a lot of success stories out of India in product like this company. I like to quote done by Girish, which was like Freshdesk. They started with a small support system, right? And today they have gone to a stage where they are challenging Salesforce. So one use case really done well, then they started adding more and more use cases. So that's how the journey happens. Like when Microsoft started, today they have like thousands of successful products, but it was not all product at the same time.
Yeah.
I think it's a journey.
Yeah, Microsoft would have thousands of failures as well. So very interesting ideas out there that you continuously validate your product, and the best testers, if the customer is willing to shell out money, whatever that is. So I think that's a very good idea out there. So we are over with our time. Thank you, gentlemen. It was a lovely, evening spent with all of you. Finding the true pearls of wisdom from each one of you, and I'm sure my audience would have certainly benefited from them. Thank you very much. I have certainly made 3 more new friends today. So
Thank you.
great to have connected here. Thank you. Bye bye.
bye. Bye. Thank you.